Okay, welcome back. I'm going to now look at the best action movies of the decade. I'm not going to stretch this into tons and tons and tons of movies. There are only so many good action movies of any decade ever. There's always a lot of mediocre ones, but there's never ever going to be a cinema of really good ones. Like, I think this decade we got a lot more good sci-fi movies than action movies. The action movies when they really worked, they really worked. There's a lot of kind of mediocrity. I mean, there was some series like the Bond series continued, did some good ones, some bad ones. You had the Fast and Furious series, which are fun, but they never did anything in the action that was really mind-blowing, and they only ever worked from fits and starts. I really enjoy them, but they're not the best of the action movies for me in any possible way. So I'm just going to actually go through the ones I think are the best actual action movies. We'll start off in Asia with Blade of the Immortal. Takeshi Miike's film. There's a mortal killing all these humans. There's lots of one man versus an army type of action, but Miike makes it interesting. There's a nice story between him and a young girl who looks like his dead sister. It's a really good film, really enjoyable, highly recommended. It's not the most unique action in this list, but it's really well done, so I'd highly recommend going to see it. It's also Free Fire by Ben Wheatley, which is also another nice one that's probably near the bottom of the list for action, because it's much more of a character stuck in an action set piece, which is there's two groups of people. One group trying to buy guns, one group trying to sell guns. They don't trust each other. A fight breaks out, and so they have to try and kill each other, and no one trusts one another, and there's all these weird action beats that happen as they try and get the better of one another. It's really a funny film. There's some nice action scenes in it, but it's really the characters that really work. But it's an action movie, so I'm bringing it into this list. Like on the kind of direct-to-video end, there's quite a few. We have Kickboxer Retaliation and Ninja 2. These are basically direct-to-DVD or Blu-ray or direct-to-streaming films. They might get a token release here or there, but they were never really meant for the big screen. One of them's a sequel to a reboot of Kickboxer. And the plot doesn't really mean a damn. Jean-Claude Van Damme's in it. The plot's just basically one guy trying to fight someone who's trying to kill him and his wife. He has some help, but Jean-Claude Van Damme is the guy whose help was just his mentor. And it's just a collection of really terrific action scenes, lots of really good fight scenes. It's total exploitation, but it works really well. It wouldn't be the most pure great exploitation movie if it wasn't for Ninja 2, which is Scott Adkins again. Or again for one of these lists, he was already in my sci-fi list. This is the best direct-to-video, direct exploitation movie. Isaac Thornton directed it. It's a sequel to Ninja, which is a fun movie but not the greatest of movies. This one, it's just like a guy whose wife is killed early on. He becomes a drunk, then he finds out there's a way to get back at the person who killed her, and he goes for revenge, full-on revenge. And you see him go through so many fight scenes, so many brutal fight scenes that are so satisfying, because they just go for the idea this is an exploitation revenge movie, and that's it. That's all we're going for. That's all you need. It's wonderful. I just cannot recommend Ninja 2 enough. It's so good. It's just a terrifically well made film. Next we have some medium budget American based American finance films made by British directors who are really good. Baby Driver and The Kingsman. Baby Driver's Edgar Wright. It's a wonderful, silly movie about a guy, a getaway driver who has tetanus, so he uses music to drown it out. So he times his getaways to music, kind of like Hudson Hawk a few years ago, and so you get all these action scenes done to music. Also, it helps him with his rhythm, and you've also got weird plots of him trying to get out of life of crime, trying to deal with these various low lives he has to deal with in these different jobs. And sort of running clock in the second half of the movie as he tries to escape from what he's done in the past. It's a terrific film. It's just so well done. Just highly recommended. It's the joy of cinemas in this film. It really is kind of like a musical with cars. The Kingsman is about a guy this sort of ruffian whose father was a spy. The people who used to work with him realise that his son has some talent and end up bringing him to the Kingsman as a chance to actually join the Kingsman to actually try out for them. And you start to see him go through the training and him realising that he actually has skills that his rough exterior have made people miss, but he's actually got lots of like practical skills, and he thinks his feet well. And during this time he also has to go up against the Kingsmen have to go up against this Samuel Jackson guy who's trying to destroy the world. So Colin Firth is a mentor, and the whole thing is just it's either a training movie or an action movie, and it jumps back and forth between them. It's wonderfully done, just beautifully made. So it's a wonderful action movie. Next we have some Japanese movies. Or not Japanese, Asian movies is the best way to say it. Killzone 2, the Ip Man series, they started out in the last decade with the ones that some were made, most 2 and 3 were made in this decade. So the Ip Man 2 and 3, Killzone 2, and The Man of Tai Chi, which Keanu Reeves actually directed. These are all really fun movies, really well put together. Just, you know, they know what they're doing. They're action movies. The action scenes are imaginatively paced. The imagination of them are done so well. They know how to vary the action scenes to make you watch the film and understand what's going on, what are the stakes. Just a lost art in filmmaking at the moment, because a lot of films don't do this, but this film does. It's so, or all these films do. Ip Man, Killzone 2 and Man Tai Chi. You know the stakes of the action scenes, you know the stakes of the drama, and each scene progresses to give you the drama but also give you the joy of the action scenes, and it knows you to stop and let you enjoy the action, and then don't let it go too far, then move on to the next bit, then move on to the next bit, then move on to the next bit. These are all really enjoyable films. I'd highly recommend all of them. They're so well done. Now we have a Welshman in Asia with the Raid 1 and 2. The Raid movies are 2 different movies. Gareth Evans did them. The first one is basically a SWAT team goes into this tower to take down a drug baron. They get trapped inside the tower and they're getting knocked off one by one. Turns out one of the guys in the SWAT team is very good at martial arts, and he starts to fight back and starts to he has to survive. He has to kill all his enemies in the building and take them out one by one. And it turns out his brother actually works for the drug baron in the building, so it's a very tense situation, but there's also some amazing action scenes in it. The Raid 2 is this character after the raid, after he survived that. He ends up going to prison undercover because he's been targeted by everybody for what happened in the raid. He can't really escape, so he works with the police to go undercover. Because he was a policeman, he goes undercover to take down this other drug dealer, and if he does that, he's got his freedom and he's got like a pension or something. So it's about him befriending this other drug dealer, and then getting up high with the drug dealer and then taking him down. That's a very simple plot, but it's the character of going through hell to take this guy down, and this guy who he befriends becomes more and more insane, and he needs more and more to be killed, and you have all these weird henchmen around him, and it's just a wonderful set of set pieces. There's a really good strong story in this one, but the set pieces themselves, the henchmen, everything about it, the action is so good. So it's a wonderful action movie. So the Raid 1 and 2 are both very different, but they're very good action movies. Obviously, we mentioned Raid, there's also Dredd, which I mentioned in my sci-fi movie as well. It's this reinvention of Judge Dredd with Carl Urban. It's another one where another story where someone goes to a tower block and they're locked in with a bunch of criminals and have to survive this tower block and kill the lead criminal. So it's the same plot, but it's done really well, and it's a lot more sci-fi elements, but it's still basically the same as the Raid, but with an iconic character like Dredd involved, and it's just so good. Carl Urban is so good as Dredd. The action's so good. It's in 3D, and in 3D works really well because you use slow motion and things like that in 3D to really bring out the strength of 3D. It's a wonderful film, and I'd highly recommend it. Next is Alpha. Alpha is a film about a kid who has to. It's set in before civilization. With these kids, this tribe trying to survive through the winter, and are doing their hunt to get the food in for winter. The son of the chief is thought dead because he falls off a cliff, but it turns out he survived. He has to get his leg sorted, then get back to his tribe through this whole massive wasteland. He has lots of problems. He befriends one of the dogs, a dog called Alpha, which he deems Alpha, that is actually a dog that protects him through the wild and they help each other survive through the wilds and get back to the tribe. And the idea of this is this bond between this boy and this dog is the first bond between a human and a dog, or a human and a wolf, that would create man and dog throughout generations, and build a bond that would last till modern times. It's a wonderfully done film. The action's terrific, but not overdone for action. It's done for drama. The relationships are all done between the boy and the dog is done really well. It's very subtle. It's very simple. It's just a really well made film, and there's not much dialogue, but you know what's going on all the time. The atmosphere's terrific. It's paced really well. It's only like 90 minutes, and it feels like you're always moving forward, but it's not moving at the same pace either. It's just moving at the right pace. It's just one of those films that came and went to cinema, but you really should see it. It's so well done. Okay, we're going towards the end of the list. We're getting near the end. We've got basically the Mission Impossible movies. These are the main action movies from studios that have worked really. So we've Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, Fallout. The first one was directed by Brad Bird, and the other two were directed by Chris McQuarrie. They're all terrifically done. They've all got some really great action scenes. All get some nice humour. The plots are spy plots. You know, they're there to create the action scenes and create more action, more drama. They'll create more situations for action. They work really well, but everything's there for the action. Obviously, you see Tom Cruise doing all these action stunts that are insane, but he does them, and he's obviously having a lot of fun doing them. It's fun to watch. The action scenes are fun to watch. But the best stuff is the car chases, the bike chases, where they seem to be going very fast, near, like, very dangerous things. The bigger sequences that get attention, like climbing up large towers, or hanging from a helicopter, or hanging from a plane, they're all good as well. But some of the less flashy ones are actually more shocking and nail-biting than the actual more publicised ones. But it's a great series of films. They work really well. They're really enjoyable. Now we're going to the best of the best. The John Wick series. These aren't studio films. These are like independent, like minor studio films from Lionsgate. And the second one's not as good as one of the three. One of the three are the best ones. Chance Stokowski, what you would call him, and David Leitch did the first one. David Leitch went on to do stuff like Hobbs and Shaw and Deadpool 2. The other director stayed on. The first, John Wick 1 and 3 have great propulsion. They've got a story. The first one's getting revenge on the guys who killed his dog, basically, but the dog was something that was given to his wife who died. And the third one is him trying to get some justice as he's been hunted down. And they work so well as just simple thrillers of someone with a very simple agenda with all these action scenes went about it. The action scenes are terrific. They're very brutal, to the point. They just work so well. You're always wincing and always really impressed by the invention shown in these action scenes. The second one's a bit more repetitive. The 1 and 3 are just two of the great action movies, and obviously two of the great action movies of the decade. They're just so good, so well made. I have no idea how they'll top 3 with the 4th one, because the last half hour of 3 is just stunning. But there's one that jumps even above John Wick, and that has to be Mad Max Fury Road. Tom Hardy is the new Max, Charlize Theron as the kind of propulsion of the story is this woman who's trying to save these sex slaves of the warlord. Max gets stuck in a story and they try and escape from the warlord's domain, realising that there's no real escape. They have to go back through all their enemies to have a chance of finding peace. It's a very simple story, but people learn to live together, learning to get on with each other, and learning to fight back against this awful bastard who's in charge of the area. And it's just full of this astonishing action, full of physical action. Like, there's CGI involved, but the CGI augments what is really a very, well, just basic set of action scenes that build and build and build. They start off with something you've seen, then builds to somebody else, and before you know it, the action scene's completely insane, out of control, and they keep altering action to start off like one way, and then it alters the path of the action to something else, it alters it again. There's always so much variation of the action, and every set piece has stages to it that always evolves throughout the actual action. It's just a stunning film. I'm going to get back to this film in the best of the decade, so I'm not going to talk about it completely just now. Just that's the action's so good, but the action's terrific, the story's terrific, but basic. It's just pure cinema at its best. Mad Max Fury Road is easily the best action movie of the decade, although John Wick gave it a run for its money. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this glare that's coming onto me has not affected your viewing. It's just suddenly really sunny. And I'll be back with the best of the decade. Right, bye.